Ohayo.
Ohio. Welcome to the So Japanese Podcast, the podcast where we talk about all things Japan. We are your hosts. My name is John.
My name is Ryusuke.
Thank you for joining us again today.
Arigato.
Another quick reminder that in May, we will only be releasing one episode per week, the Thursday episode. And then in June, we're going to go back to Mondays and Thursdays. Yes.
お願いします。
So the last two episodes were about Ryusuke, me interviewing him. The next two will be...
I will interview John.
That's right.
So basically same thing, but you guys gonna find out how John grew up and then ended up going to Japan.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's start. All right. So what's your name?
Jonathan Choi.
Jonathan Choi. Where are you from?
So I was born and raised in Toronto.
Okay.
Born in Toronto, raised in a suburb outside Toronto, Scarborough. It's about like half an hour away from the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your cultural background? I guess people kind of know.
Yeah. So my parents are from Hong Kong. They met here. My mom got to Canada because her dad opened up a restaurant in Nova Scotia.
Okay.
I think he took over like some old school diner, but then started introducing like Chinese dishes.
Yeah.
And then Nova Scotia is super small, so she, after high school, she moved to Toronto to find better job opportunities.
Before you born?
Before I was born, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my dad, he always, in his 20s, he worked on cruise ships.
Okay.
So he, like cargo ships and passenger cruise ships.
Oh.
So he always traveled around.
Okay.
And then he stopped in Canada one time, like in Vancouver. And then I think he liked Canada.
Okay.
So then he made his way from Vancouver to Toronto. And then they met, and then here I am.
Oh, so it's no your parents came together?
No. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So how was growing up in Toronto?
Growing up in Toronto, I would say very multicultural.
Okay.
Right. So even my schools, elementary school, high school, I would say predominantly was minorities, I guess. But if it's predominantly, they would be the majority. What I'm saying is whites were the minority. There's people from all over the world.
Yeah.
So Canada, I would say, is very, it's grown through immigration.
Okay.
Right? So growing up, all my friends always spoke another language as well as English.
Cool. So you don't feel any like minority as a Chinese kid growing up in Toronto?
No, because everyone was also from somewhere else. Like their parents were from somewhere else. In elementary school and like junior high, everyone kind of hung out together. But I did feel like in high school, people kind of separated.
Because of the
I guess like you
culture?
Yeah, right?
Okay.
So like, for example, you go into the cafeteria in high school and then you'll see a table that is all the Greek kids, all the Jamaican kids, all the Korean kids, all the Chinese kids, all the Persian kids. So it's funny how that happened, but I guess like once you get into a certain age, you're trying to find your place.
Yeah.
And because majority of the kids growing up also spoke another language, I guess you felt more comfortable. And you know, high school is really awkward, right? So you're trying to find your place, and it's more comfortable being with your
Someone-
own kind, I suppose. So very multicultural. But then I felt like it's one of the reasons why I wanted to
Leave?
travel
Okay.
or like
Cool.
see other places. But yeah, also because my dad would always tell me stories about his travels,
Oh.
right? Like, so he would go to Japan quite often too because of work. So he
Okay.
would tell me stories of his time in Japan.
Okay.
He lived in Australia for some time. He's been to Thailand, like all over.
Oh, even
Europe.
Thailand.
Yeah, so
Oh.
him hearing those stories growing up kind of made me feel like
You want to see.
as for myself, right?
So obviously he was saying all the different culture, country about good thing.
Yeah.
How fun or like how different.
Exactly. But like at the same time, growing up, we would because my dad's family is still in Hong Kong, so every few years we would go back.
Right.
So my parents would take me to travel. My mom loved traveling as well.
Cool.
So from young, I had the traveling bug, right?
Okay.
And then you visit Hong Kong a few times and you feel like the buzz, the energy of the city, of the country. And then you go back to Canada,
So you-
cold.
Then obviously you
Boring.
compare
Yeah.
this in here, you growing up in this town or either your country and like back to Hong Kong, you kind of feel, oh, definitely it's different.
Exactly.
Ah.
And I think when I was like 2 or 3, the first time they took me to Hong Kong, they also took me to Japan. So I remember seeing like baby photos of me in Japan.
Okay. Oh, so you're already in Japan before.
Well, I was like 2 or 3. So
I know.
Exactly,
I know.
yeah. And I remember growing up, do you know the Red and White show?
No.
It's like every New Year's, it's like a Japanese like show.
Okay.
Variety show. They show different performances.
Oh, that's singing.
Yeah, I think singing. Yeah.
紅白歌合戦.
I guess so.
I see. Yeah.
And
yeah.
they would always watch it.
Really?
Yeah, so I remember
At
watching
home?
Yeah.
Wow.
Japanese stuff. So I guess it also intrigued me to want to go to Japan. Subliminally. How do you say that? But yeah, subconsciously, I guess.
Okay.
But how I decided to go to Japan was that my friend, she did the English teaching thing. And I knew after university, I wanted to like leave Toronto. I wanted to travel. And she said, hey, I worked here for a year. I think she was in Saitama. So you should apply. And the company that I went to Japan with, they would do like interviews in like Vancouver, in Australia, in Toronto, in the States. They would have like job fairs. And then
So it was a international ESL? Or no, it's no ESL. It's like a English.
so it was like a
School?
Yeah, it's like an English school, an eikaiwa, so an after school like program.
Okay. So yeah, like he said why he went to Japan, but I want to ask you, so what age did you first leave?
I left in when I was 21, right after university.
Okay.
Obviously, like being a son of immigrant parents, they want you to go to university, get a nice stable job, buy a house, have a kid.
Especially as a Asian.
Exactly, you have
kids,
that pressure.
Right? Yeah.
But I felt like it wasn't fair that I had to do that. My dad's thinking is like, I left like a country to go to Canada, a place with more opportunity for
you.
me. Why would you want to go back to Asia.
So there was any argument or
No, they knew that I
can't
had to
stop
do
you?
it as well. Exactly.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
you know, they had their story of their journey, right? You chose to settle down in Toronto. That was your choice. It doesn't have to be my choice. There was no real argument, no, but
Okay.
I always thought in the back of my head that I would be back though. Like I was going to go to Japan 2 years later, I'll be back, and then I'll do that get a job thing, career thing,
Okay.
and then I'd follow that plan.
So do you have any other country to consider?
So I decided I would go to Japan for 2 years and then come back. But then like a year into it, I was kind of ready to leave Japan, but I knew that I wasn't done traveling. I wasn't done like living abroad.
Okay.
So after the 2 years, I did go back to Toronto, and I went back. I remember it was during the winter, so that probably had something to do with it. But I think 4 months into being back home, I was like, okay, I got to get the fuck out.
Okay.
So before I came back to Toronto, I did backpack around Asia for a bit.
Okay. After Japan.
After Japan. Might as well, right? You're over there.
Yeah.
And then I came back and I really liked Thailand. So as a kid, I traveled through Thailand. So I think it was like I've been to Thailand like 3 times.
Okay.
And then
Just for short trip.
For short trip, exactly. And then I decided, yeah, I got to go back. Mainly because of the weather.
Right.
And the lifestyle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I want to ask about a little bit more in Japan. How was first impression in Japan as a, foreigner and as a Asian?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was probably my fault for like initially having that culture shock because I did no research whatsoever. I went in with like a blank mind about Japan. Didn't study the language at all. I didn't even know konnichiwa. I didn't know sumimasen. I knew nothing, which is like really poor of me. I wouldn't recommend people to do that. You should do some research, I suppose, right? Learn about the place. So I landed in Nagoya, actually, your hometown.
Like my hometown.
Yeah, and I didn't know what Nagoya was or where it was.
And I believe when you land, Nagoya International Airport wasn't the international airport now, so
must not be.
No, you land in somewhere there's nothing.
Yeah. And so that's where the company sent me to train for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I remember getting there. I guess the idea I had in my head about Japan was super small alleyways, looked like Gion, or like those small alleyways with all the bars in Tokyo. And then going to Nagoya, it's like just like a modern big city. And I remember my initial impression was that it was quite stale looking. It's like too clean.
Okay.
Too organized.
Okay.
I didn't get that big city vibe that I was looking for, that like Hong Kong reminded me of.
Like so many people, so busy.
Yeah. It wasn't
crowded.
like that at all.
Well, especially Nagoya.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, how they built the city is
Exactly.
a little bit different. Yeah.
So I remember like my first night, I bought a phone card from the conveni, used the payphone, called home, and it's like, Mom, I think I made a mistake.
All right. When was it? 2000.
Oh man,
5 or 6. Right?
I suppose so. Yeah, when I was 21.
Yeah, because we are same age.
Yeah.
When John went to Japan, I came in Toronto.
Yeah,
so it should be 2005.
So it was a big shock to me. And then I felt more comfortable with like, other international teachers coming.
Any type of people, right?
Oh yeah,
like not just Asian people.
Not Asian. Actually, there wasn't. I think I was the only Asian person, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Americans, Australians, English people.
Yeah, from Europe, everywhere.
Yeah. And then after that, we continued 2 more weeks of training in Osaka.
Okay.
Before I got sent to Himeji, where I was supposed to live and settle and work. And then that's when I was like, okay, this is more what I was looking for in Osaka.
In Osaka.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got the vibe of the city, the crowdedness, the energy.
Yeah, and nice in a good way, like the dirtiness from the short alleyway.
Exactly. I was looking for something that was the opposite of Toronto.
I see.
Opposite of what I was growing up in the suburb of Toronto.
But where'd you get the idea though? Like the alleyway vibes, and is that from TV?
Yeah.
Okay. So like you did,
TV,
So you didn't research anything,
No.
but anyway, you had the idea from the TV or any sort of media.
Exactly. I thought I was gonna see like people dressed up in kimonos everywhere. I thought that's what it was.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that much you didn't know about Japan?
No, that's how ignorant I was.
Oh, I see.
Right? Like I thought it was gonna
see.
be super traditional, right?
Okay.
Also, the stories my dad would tell me, but he went in like the 60s,
yeah,
70s.
it's different
right?
too, right?
Exactly. So
Okay, so as a person who didn't know anything about this culture, then you say you alive in Nagoya in 2 weeks, and you have to move to Osaka. How you like buying ticket, or even like how you figure out to do all these regular things, but as you don't understand the culture, you don't understand the language. Is there any like hard time or somebody help or?
So I guess luckily I didn't go to Japan to find a job. I had the job lined up already. For me. So the company helped a lot. There was always like Japanese staff to help you if you
so if you need to do something. Or where did you stay though for 2 weeks in Nagoya? Like first 2 weeks they set up for you.
Yeah, like it's a business hotel.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so from airport to the hotel, how you ended up get there? Like by yourself?
You go as a group.
So like you land in Nagoya, and basically like those people who has the sign, and
yes, exactly that
for this school or something.
Yes, exactly. It's with your name on it. And
okay.
I remember I was the first person to arrive, so
okay.
Going there,
and the staff obviously they speak English.
Yeah.
So for you was like you have no worry about.
No worries.
You might gonna lost or.
The worries came when I moved to Himeji, and then you no longer really have that support. It's like, here's your school schedule, here are the locations, here are maps like printed on fax paper.
Of course.
Even now, Japan still uses fax.
Yeah, still use fax, yes, yeah.
And there was no Google Maps.
Well, yeah.
I remember
there's no even iPhone yet.
The bus schedules, the train schedules, it wasn't online. So if I wanted to find the bus schedule or train schedule, you have to go to the bus station or train station.
So after you get Osaka, and then you decide to live in Himeji.
Well, I didn't decide. I wouldn't have chose Himeji if I had school. Choice. Yeah, exactly.
Decide you to work in Himeji. So that means school set up for you, all the apartment and everything? Because I heard a lot of foreigners, they always have hard time to rent the apartment, right? Because like if you're the foreigner, unfortunately in Japan, a lot of landlords, they don't like foreigner people, right?
Yeah. I met people in those situations. I think there's one company, Leo Palace. Right. Leo Palace 21 or something like that.
21, yeah.
They rent to foreigners. But I had that easy. My company had that all set up for me. So,
like everything.
Yeah, I didn't have to look for anything.
I know the cell phone situation is different, but I guess we already had cell phone anyway. You had a cell phone?
Yeah. So
how
first you have to, the first thing I remember we did when we arrived in Osaka was to get an inkan.
Oh.
Yeah, they took us to get inkans because you needed to get a bank account,
right.
cell phone, home internet.
Yeah.
That stuff you had to go set up by yourself.
Just a reminder for listeners, the inkan we talk about episode working culture in Japan. Inkan is the stamp.
Yes.
If you are start working in Japan as a professional, like John said, you need to make it.
Yeah.
Even though you're foreigner. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so if you don't even have a Japanese name, they will like use katakana and
to make it your name, right?
So mine said John.
Yeah. And normally income for Japanese is last name. So mine is Yamanaka, but I guess they
for foreigners, yeah. It could have been anything, I think.
Yeah. Because it could be two-way too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It should have been, right?
Yeah.
But even like I have like kanji for my Chinese name, right? I could have put my last name.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So how was working with Japanese people?
Working with Japanese people, the thing is that I work by myself.
Right, because you're the teacher?
Yeah, like you get sent. So how the setup was, the schools will have 1 week out of the month that is taught only by a native English speaker.
Okay.
The 3 other weeks is with a Japanese teacher.
So was it private or?
Yeah, it's like a private, it's like an after school thing. There's many locations all over the country. So in 1 month, I would rotate 4 different schools. I'll spend a whole week in one school, the next week at a different school.
I see. So you go all the different school.
Yeah, so
and teaching
actually,
different students.
Yes. So actually no school was actually in Himeji. It was always around.
Oh, I see. But because of Himeji is the kind of hub
of that area, So I would go to like fucking far places, like nothing.
Wow.
So from like a station, I remember I would just walk like half an hour through rice fields to the school. Yeah.
How'd you, without Google Map?
Yeah, so they would fax me maps. The route. And like there was no, they would do it like foreigner friendly. So they would be like, they would draw the map and like this corner would be a Family Mart. This corner would be a Gusto. You hit the Gusto, make a right, and then you'll see this building here. And then
was it easy for you? Like you never lost?
Oh, I got lost many times.
And have you had the experience you have to talk with Japanese people to ask?
Yeah. I think because of the places that I went to were so small, they knew that, this isn't a kaiwa. And I would ask like old ladies or shopkeepers, like, hey, where is it? They would know, I know what you're looking for. You're a gaijin, so you must be going there.
So you speak Japanese, or you like, do you know how to say where to go in Japanese that time?
At that time, not really, no.
So that means they understood what you want.
Yeah, and broken communication, right?
Have you ever felt anything like they're not supportable, or they're kind of judging you as a foreigner, or?
I never felt that.
They're all good? They're all nice?
Yeah. Everyone's nice.
Okay.
Yeah. I felt like being Asian. So initially, if they would find out that, they would assume obviously I'm Japanese. But once they know that I'm a gaijin, I felt like even through meeting new friends and just working, I felt like they were more accepting, or they felt more comfortable around me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like you said, because of your Asian, they thought you're Japanese instantly, because just by the look,
Yes.
but it wasn't. How they react. Oh, that's what like Japanese, right?
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
shit, not
Yeah,
that
yeah,
way,
yeah,
right? They're like
exactly.
surprised in a good way,
Exactly.
but they don't speak English. But still, they're
Yeah.
trying to help you.
Exactly.
Good. That's
Yeah.
a good thing about Japan.
Like when I started working at the bar, I would have to tell every new customer, or they would find out right away that I'm not Japanese.
Right.
So every table,
Right. Yeah. So like, I want to ask you that too. Like, how you ended up working at the bar? First, why? Because you're working at school, right?
Yeah. So for the school, it was an after-school program. So I think the earliest class I had was like 3:00, and then the latest I would finish would be like 8:30.
Oh, that's late.
So most of the time, I would work only like 4 hours every day. And I had a lot of free time. But then I found myself just being too comfortable and hanging out with other English speakers. And that wasn't why I wanted to live abroad, right?
Exactly.
I didn't want to... I left the country of white people. I wasn't going to go to Japan to hang out with other white people. So I think it was like 3 months into it.
Okay.
I was just like really bored of hanging out with other English speakers. So I would just go to bars by myself in Himeji. And in Himeji, there was like 2 gaijin bars. And obviously for my first 3 months, I would go there every day almost.
Okay.
And super bored of it.
How'd you find out there's a gaijin bar? Like,
because other teachers, you know, there's like other
they have that
teachers,
information.
They would like, or they would take you there, right? And then it's comfortable, so you keep going back.
Yeah.
But then I got bored of it, so I just went around to the other bars, like Japanese bars.
As a customer.
As a customer, yes.
Okay.
And then this one bar, I really got along with the owner. Shout out Bees Box.
Bees Box.
That's
Bees Box in Himeji.
Himeji, right?
Yeah.
That's it was a darts bar, and I never played darts before.
Okay.
So it was like you went to the bar, and there's also, it's not just drinking, right? There's something to do at the same time. So even I didn't speak any Japanese, I didn't feel the pressure to make conversation. You can always play darts, and then you know, something to do while hanging out with others.
You go there by yourself,
Yeah.
just you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I started going there a lot, like almost every day. And then I really got along with the owner, Shunsuke Soga-san.
Shinsuke-san.
No, Soga.
Soga Shinsuke-san.
Si.
Right.
Yes. And then we got along, and then he was like, hey, you're here every day. He didn't speak English at all. I didn't speak Japanese, but with our his broken English, my broken Japanese, we were able to communicate fine, actually. And then he's like, hey, you're here every day. You want a job.
Oh.
So then, yeah.
Were you expecting to get asked?
Not at all. Not at all.
You were kind of looking for other things, but
Not
mostly
work. I didn't think about work at all.
I see. You just want to chill.
Exactly. And the vibe of the bar, even working there, was so chill. So might as well make some money.
Yeah.
And hang out and learn more about the culture, right? Hang out with Japanese people.
So like the bar, obviously, all customers are Japanese.
Yeah. The only foreigner customers that had were like friends, English-speaking friends of mine that would come and visit. But other than that, it was only Japanese customers. Yeah.
How was the experience about serving Japanese people as a foreigner?
Yeah, I had to get used to, like in high school, I had customer service jobs and stuff like that. But I really had to get used to like
Is that same?
The Japanese style.
In here, North America, or in Japan?
No, well, very different, more structured, right?
Okay.
So like
Even though small bar.
A customer comes in, all the employees, right? So I had to get over that like shyness of it, right? I remember in the beginning, like the owner's like, hey, you have to fucking say it.
So
and you have to yell it.
you didn't say it.
No, I would be shy and like not say it, or like I would just mouth it.
Yeah.
And then as even like handing customers drink, you know, giving a little bow. When customers, you'd have to walk them out the door onto the street. You know,
like you did.
Like you have to
like open the door.
Yes, right. But because I was a foreigner, I was forgiven a lot.
Right.
You know, they didn't expect me to give the level of service of a Japanese person.
So they're happy about what you do, like all the service like Japanese people do normally.
I probably fucked up a lot, you know.
Yeah.
I probably wasn't as polite or given that,
of course,
Japanese service as expected, but because I was a foreigner and the customers knew right away.
Yeah.
Right?
So you never had any problem with customers, like somebody yell at you or?
No.
Never?
No.
Okay.
It's a small town.
Also, it's small town. So like the customers are regulars.
Most of them were regulars. Yeah.
So they, like, you get to know about them.
Yes.
Do they speak English?
No one speaks English, right?
How you guys Are you the only one at the bar, like working, or like there's
weekday
other
nights? I was. Eventually, he would trust me to like close shop and stuff like that
by yourself.
Or he would, because again, we never closed. We never had a closing time. So as long as there was people drinking, I'd have to stay. And the owner would
Japanese
be
style.
like, you got this, I'm going home.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
which would make me like surprised that how many people would come by themselves late night and just want to talk to me.
So what about other employee, like your coworkers? Are they nice to you?
Oh yeah, they're nice to me. They also like, because a lot of those they might not have interacted with foreigners ever.
So actually they're happy to have you.
Yeah, and I feel like every Japanese person wants to learn English. They do.
Yeah. No,
right? They want to try at least, right?
Of course. And then we wanted to have some foreigner friends.
Yeah.
If it's possible.
Exactly. A lot of salarymen would come and they would want to practice their English with me, right?
During drinking alcohol.
Yeah. It was perfect,
Good.
Right?
So maybe you get...
But those motherfuckers never went home. They never would want to go home. I would always have to like look at my watch. It's like, hey, it's 12:30, man. Last train. Last train. I know where you live. You got to take it. And then they order another drink. I'm like, all right, fuck. I'm here until maybe 5 o'clock until the next train home, right?
So your actual closing time is what? Like,
I think it was like 2 a.m.
2 a.m.?
Yeah.
But normally?
3 would probably be the earliest. Yeah.
If it's lucky.
Yeah. If it's like, and a lot of times it would just be one person.
Yeah. Well, listeners, again, if you want to work, just expect like Japanese services always depending on the customer.
Yeah.
So
you have to be adaptable to the
exactly.
customer.
There's no way, because of your finishing time is 2, doesn't mean you can go home too.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like John said. All right. Okay. That's cool. How was maybe everybody want to know, how was money working in Japan?
With the eikaiwa, I think they try to give you like a decent enough salary because you're international. I don't know, after rent, maybe it was like $3,000 a month.
That much?
Yeah.
That's way more than Japanese average salary.
Because I think like...
So 30万
a month, 3,000.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm assuming like people would just do that year. and then go back, right? And I guess it's whatever the average Canadian salary is. That's like 1,500 every paycheck, right? It's like a normal job.
So, okay, sorry.
And then at the bar, it was 10 yen an hour.
Okay, $10 per hour.
But I also had to, I had to pay for all my drinks.
Okay.
Darts, I think it was like 50% off.
Okay.
But
you still need to. So you're working at the bar, but you still go there as a customer too.
Yes. Yeah. So even on my days off from the bar, I would still go and hang out.
Oh, okay. And that time you have to pay, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there like every day. So my day would be like, depending where the school is. Sometimes, even though the class starts at like 3:30, there would be only one train or one bus to get there. I would have to leave at noon. Like an hour, 2-hour journey sometimes. Get there, set up, and then 7:30, 8:30 would be in last class. Come back into Himeji, maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And then I would start whenever I would get back. So then I would start at the bar 11, 12, and then work until 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and then go back, sleep. And then, so I was lucky because working at that school, I'm not working at like a normal public school, starting at 7 a.m.
7 a.m. Yeah.
I was able to spend late nights working at a bar.
Which is fit with your lifestyle.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah, at that time.
Cool.
Which, thinking back at it, super lucky, right? Because I know a lot of teachers, a lot of English speakers will join the JET program.
Okay.
And it's a program set up with the Japanese government. And they'll find English teachers or native English speakers from around the world, and then send them over to be like English assistant teachers.
Okay. Yeah.
Working at public schools.
For the public school.
So you work like normal public school
see.
hours, 7 to 3:30 or whatever it is.
But you were not in a JET program.
No.
You're like private company.
Exactly.
Okay. But can you still apply for the JET program?
I think you can only apply outside of the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember it was probably like better paying.
Okay.
Being part of the JET program. But I wouldn't take back because I was able to work at a bar.
Right.
Like
it's actually better.
Exactly. So after my contract ended with the school, the owner was like, I can sponsor you. Like, you can work at the bar. I already made it, like, going to Japan, I already decided 2 years I'm out. But even still, like, unless I met a wife there.
Exactly,
you know,
right? Yeah.
$10 an hour wasn't enough.
No.
Right?
No.
But I think back fondly at working at the bar more than working at the school. Right? So you're happy to work at the bar. Yeah, with the school I was by myself. It was just me and the kids, right? So I was able to practice my Japanese that I had with kids. Learning languages with kids is great, right? They don't judge you.
They won't judge you. They speak anything.
They're not shy, right? And if I don't know anything, they'll correct you. They can make fun of you, but they're kids. I don't feel any judgment, right?
Yeah.
With adults, you might feel more reserved. You want to be judged. You know, like even like practicing, doing like sometimes I would do like language exchanges with people, and it was just so awkward, right? You know, Japanese people, they're shy. They don't want to be incorrect. So whatever I would learn at the bar, I would practice on the kids.
Perfect.
But even at the bar, like Japanese people, they get so drunk so fast.
Right.
It was really easy, right?
Yeah. It's no like there's no place you have to speak in formal Japanese.
Exactly. So I don't know formal Japanese. I do regret not going to like a Japanese school, like how you went to an ESL school, just to have some
like the
foundation, you know, basic. But I didn't have any of that. So all the Japanese I learned was like from the bar and
That's
through
good.
kids.
Like I do in English.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like you with your English, like I get surprised of what English vocabulary you know, but you learned it from the street. So same for me.
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of Japanese people were surprised of the vocabulary I know, but I don't
How
know.
can
like,
you speak this?
yeah, how do you know that but not know the formal stuff? Right? It's so weird, right? Or even like I said in the Kansai episode,
Right.
you don't know the standard Kanto Japanese, but you know Kansai Ben? Like what the fuck? Yeah.
So you naturally start speaking Kansai Ben.
Yeah, that's all I.
Of course, because like all the people around you is only speak Kansai Ben.
Exactly.
So that's normal for you.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, so what else we should ask? What do you think difference in between Western culture and Japanese culture? From your side.
The built-in like strictness of everything in Japan. Like there's a right way and a wrong way.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
There's no in between. But I feel like in North America and Western culture, you're allowed, or it's more acceptable to do things any other way.
Okay. Okay.
Also in Japan, just inherently more structured and polite. Whatever you expect is the case generally
happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not many curveballs in Japan, right? It's really structured. How clean everything is.
Okay.
Right. The standard of the standards in Japan are higher. More formal, definitely. But like being Asian, going there, also that's probably why I didn't feel like I needed to research much.
Okay.
I felt like, I've been to Asia before. I grew up in an Asian household. I grew up having strict parents or like having these standards. I kind of assumed it was the same. But I think Japan's like
it was same.
Another level higher.
Okay.
Right, but like being raised with every culture, you get raised to like respect elders. But I feel like in Asian culture, or even like Middle Eastern culture, I think it's like you respect elders. So I knew how to talk to my bosses. I knew how to talk to, customers. Like,
yeah.
Just because growing up in an Asian household, you know how to
deal with all this
social situations. So that helped me a lot. I knew a lot of like other gaijins, like white people that maybe struggled with that, struggled with the strictness of Japan. Yeah.
So I just want to ask extra question. In a school, I don't know if you see all the teachers or not, but so white people, black people, I mean, I would say like white people, colored people, what's the percentage you think the teachers are?
The gaijin teachers?
Yeah.
I think majority were white people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard this is a little bit racism, I think, in Japan. They don't even think, but because of English teacher, they want to hire white people.
Yes.
Just because how they look, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's like English schools that focus on like adults, teaching adults like business English. I think if I applied to those companies, they wouldn't want me.
No, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look that's even in Thailand too.
Oh yeah.
All Asia, where if they're looking for English teachers, they want that white face.
Yeah, it's
Right.
just because, right? This
So-
is a little bit sad for
Yeah.
me as a Japanese, but yeah.
But I feel like once they get over that fact, as an Asian person teaching English there, again, like I said, the students feel way more comfortable with you,
Right,
you know?
right.
Where this, like, I can show them that, look, we look the same, so there's no reason why your English can't be like mine. They might think,
That's
oh,
right,
you're
that's
white.
right.
No wonder your English is so good.
That's right.
Right. So
That's
I-
actually good for
I gave
kids.
them like an example that, like, yeah,
They feel like I can do it because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can do it, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
or Asian people can speak English fine
Yeah.
too, right?
Little bit
Yeah.
wrong mindset, but still to cheer them up. It's
Yeah.
kind of nice as you are as an Asian teacher teaching English to Japanese kid. Oh,
Yeah. I also would do a lot of like, I was like trying to hustle. I was trying to make
Yeah,
money,
yeah,
right? So
of
I was
course.
working at the bar, and then free time I would also teach private lessons at like Starbucks or like McDonald's, and to adults.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So that was like also a different vibe too, because I was
What?
used to,
So for the private school, private class outside of school, do they know you're Asian?
yeah. So
Yeah.
a lot of those students were like passed down to me.
Okay.
So like a teacher had these private classes with whatever students, but they're gonna go back to their home country. So they'd be like, "Hey, John, do you want to take over?" They still
Oh, I
want to
see.
learn English.
Okay.
Do you want to take over? So
And
They
as a
would know.
student, they don't care you as Asian?
actually, in Thailand, there was a Japanese student that wanted to study English, but then after the first class, the guy didn't want to do it anymore because
Oh.
Yeah.
So see,
and also he wanted a female.
oh, so it's okay. So, well, I'm asking you all this because obviously for the listeners who wants to live abroad, work, I want to make sure doesn't matter color, where you're from, what you looks like. There's still racism type of problem issues in Japan, but again, like John gets all the jobs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think in like big city, Tokyo, Osaka, maybe less of a problem. But
Because of the countryside.
yeah, maybe they are looking for like a white person. But I guess I'm an example of that. It's still fine.
It's still fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Also, maybe that had to do with like me not wanting to study Japanese so hardcore. Because I wanted, maybe deep inside, I wanted to still be a foreigner.
okay.
Like, or else if I spoke Japanese perfectly, I look Asian, then people just treat me Japanese. Maybe that, I'm not sure.
I see. Okay. Cool. I want to ask a couple more questions and then let's go. But did you miss Canada? Did you miss your home while
not at all.
you're in
Zero.
Japan? Zero. So you enjoying it?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
It was the first time with freedom, right? I mean, I could pay rent living in Toronto, like moving out away from my parents, out of my parents' house. But why would I waste money in rent to live in Toronto? If
And
I was going
time.
to pay rent, I'd rather go abroad,
Exactly.
right? Have new
right?
experiences.
Yeah.
And another reason why I really wanted to live abroad was to like date other cultures. Like I said, growing up here, even though it was very multicultural, but for the most part, because you're more comfortable and you speak also a second common language. Like a lot of my friends end up dating another Cantonese person or another Asian person. But I wanted to experience other things, right?
Okay.
And my dad would tell me stories about, you know, other cultures he's dated and stuff, and I found it very interesting.
So
I wanted to learn more about the world.
have you dated with Japanese lady?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
How was it?
Few. I dated girls that spoke English, that wanted to, and they liked like the foreigner vibe. I dated girls that are like Japanese, zero English. And I found experience dating like the Japanese way more interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. It was too easy to speak English all the time. I don't know.
That's right.
You know, I wanted to really feel the culture, the differences, right? Because with language, you also act differently, right? Like, it's funny, right? Like with languages, if you speak another language, your persona also kind of changes, right? With the language, right?
Of course.
So maybe when you speak Japanese, automatically you're kind of more polite, right?
Yeah.
Maybe when you speak English, you are
More casual.
right? My wife jokes that like when I speak Thai, I'm very like strict. I'm very
Really?
serious.
Okay.
Same when she finds me speaking Cantonese, I sound different when I speak English.
Okay.
So same thing, right? With dating Japanese people, it's like a different vibe.
Did you have any problem?
No.
It was
Language
okay?
of love, right? Who needs?
Exactly.
Who needs English?
Most
or the
important
common
is
language, right?
you're there. I'm here.
Exactly.
We can date. We can do things.
Exactly. Yeah, at the bar, I was young and stupid, right? But I really like felt like when girls would come in by themselves, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna practice my flirting with Japanese on them, right?
So, as a foreigner, English speaker, have you felt you're special in Japan?
No, because I blended in.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
The color of my skin.
Okay.
I blended in. Yeah.
Because I was thinking like some people felt like, oh, everybody treat me like great.
Yeah, a lot of my white friends, they felt like rock stars there.
Right?
You know, like girls are chasing them, you know, like everyone looks at them. But I didn't get that because I'm Asian, you know, I blended.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're
Asian,
if you're listening and you want to live and work in Japan or in Asia and you're white, you will get treated differently. You know, positively or negatively, depending how you take it. But eyeballs will be on you. You know, people will want to go out of their way to speak to you. Or,
maybe you enjoying for a while, but then you start feeling annoyed.
Possibly,
right?
Possibly.
But I mean, it all depends on you.
Yeah.
But cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So the food. What food you miss most from Japan?
Quality sushi.
Quality sushi, of course.
Like affordable food. I feel like over here, it's hit or miss some restaurants, right? Like you go to a restaurant, even if it's an expensive restaurant or more affordable restaurant, the food's not that great. But in Japan, I feel like their palates are so good that every price range, the food is amazing.
Right. Even cheap or expensive, doesn't matter for the price.
I miss convenience store food.
For sure.
The quality and the convenience of it.
It's no like
here, I would never eat anything from a 7-Eleven here.
Yeah, right?
Right.
Even though you're starving.
Right. But over there, it's legit. Like
right away.
Yeah. All
you
food
hungry?
is good.
Yeah. You go fucking convenience store or even like the first food, any type of first food, they open until late or even 24/7.
Yeah, I survived off convenience store food.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I think this is the last question I will ask. Any advice for people who are thinking of living or working in Japan as a foreigner?
Any advice? Specifically Japan or just anywhere?
Well, anywhere.
I guess anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Just to do it, right?
Yeah.
Just to do it. Like the reason why I wanted to live abroad even after Japan was my first year in Japan, I came back for Christmas actually. And when I was back during Christmas, my uncle, who I was really close with, suddenly passed away.
Okay.
From a heart attack. And he was really, so like my dad was like very, very Asian. He's very, very strict Asian. And my uncle, because he grew up in Canada, like in Nova Scotia and over here, he was more westernized.
Okay.
So he played hockey. He would take me to like do more Western cultural things, right?
Okay.
My dad didn't. He was just too busy working.
Yeah.
You know. So I was really close with him, and then him dying suddenly made me think like, all right. So he died in his 50s.
Okay.
Early 50s, I think. So it made me think like,
YOLO.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's more.
Yeah.
There's more to this.
Yeah.
You know, he has 2 kids. You know, he had a job with the government. You know, he just know that normal life. But it was actually my dad who said, he's like, so look, your uncle died. What does he have to show for with his life? What experiences did he have? Yes, he had 2 kids. Yes, he got married. Yes, he has a house in Toronto. But at the end, like he's dead now. So that's what he left over. So even though he didn't want me to leave, I guess, but he was kind of telling me like, you should have more experiences, right?
Life experience.
Exactly.
That you never expect, right?
Exactly.
Or
so
that you never had.
So like coming back after Japan, coming back for those 4 months, the friends I grew up with had their jobs already. And at that time, maybe like they worked at their entry level job for 2 years and already like got up a step within the company, saved enough to like think of a down payment for a house. And when I came back, I spent 2 years traveling, like kind of for the, I don't know, it depends how you look on it, look at it, but like fucking around. I felt like coming back, I was a step behind. So I wanted to leave again, right? I wanted to gain more life experiences, right?
The money.
Exactly. So money you can always make. I always thought,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So like with my university degree, I never used it. I never used it for a job within that field. So good or bad, I don't know, but I graduated university to satisfy my parents.
Yeah.
I did that. That's the one thing
That's
they
for
wanted
them.
me to do. All right. Or else I maybe would have left earlier, right? But I would, just say do it.
Yep.
And when you do it, like Ryusuke's story, don't try to find your community that you're comfortable with, right? Don't just try to hang out with other English speakers or other Japanese speakers, right? Try to immerse yourself within that culture.
Put yourself in a difficult situation. Sometimes that make you stronger.
Exactly. And make friends, make local friends, date local people, right? If you're able to, if you're single, those experiences, the learning experiences from that, like It
It's
can't
priceless.
be replicated. Exactly. And you can't replicate that, right?
No.
Needing to like, nowadays, I think it would be super easy if like you and I met in Japan and we didn't speak a common language, we could use Google Translate. But the fun of trying to communicate, body language,
drinking together,
broken languages,
doing stupid things together.
Exactly, right? Make local friends, hang out with local people as much as possible. And I would recommend doesn't matter what age you are, but to live abroad, not just travel. Because going on holiday for 2 weeks
Different.
doesn't count, right?
No, you don't know any culture about them.
Exactly, right? You can have that guidebook with those phrases that you learn, but without living there, earning a paycheck in a different country, that experience is so different. Right? So even like coming back and traveling, working abroad, you're gonna be spending money. You're not really like saving a lot, right? So coming back, I'm really far behind. All my friends growing up in high school, now they have their own house and stuff like that. I don't have any of that. I guess what I have is like experience, life experiences.
Same here.
Right? Can't put a dollar amount to it, right?
Yeah.
Just like traveling, moving to different countries costs a lot of money.
Of course.
Right? You got to start over again.
Exactly.
Like for you. So
basically, like you move in different apartment, it costs you more.
But changing apartments in a different country, setting up again, needing to find jobs in a different country, speaking the different language. Very hard, which makes a lot of people scared, right?
Yeah.
That makes them not want to do it, right?
But scared for what though?
Exactly.
For me, I'm gonna scare to lose my young age to do nothing.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
So again, like I mentioned in your interview and when we were speaking with the samurai episode, thinking about death. Now that I do think about it, but not directly about death, but like not want to waste time, right? Wasting your youth, right? Just recommend to do it. Of
course, if you don't have time, you still want to just travel, that's fine too. But if you have time more, or if you really want to live, right? Why just don't?
We're not judging the people who you know, because they have assets, they have different expectations for their life, they want different experiences. But like people like you and I that think a little bit differently, we chase something else. Right? Like we value other things. I value life experiences more than having property, I suppose. And food, travel, you get to taste different food, right?
No, it's not gonna be same as like you go sushi restaurant in here, even though they're like one of the best sushi in North America, it doesn't mean good as Japanese sushi, right? In Japan.
And with food, with every country's food, you learn about the culture, right?
Street food, mostly like you actually seen and learn and including how they work, right?
Makes you a more well-rounded person. Again, we're not judging people who haven't lived abroad or whatever, but if you have a bit of interest in Japan, just try to. So for me, I knew that I wanted to travel. I knew that I couldn't afford to just travel. I knew that I needed to work and live in that country. And the only skill that was marketable for me was my native English ability. So even though I'm not passionate about teaching English, it was a means to gain those experiences, right? It was a way for me to do that.
So do it. Life is too short, and I think more important is money than no experience than money.
And what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
You spend $1,000 for a one-way ticket back home.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. At the end, somebody gonna help you, or you're not gonna die. Of course. So
yes, it's hard. It is
better.
hard to adapt
It's
to a
hard.
different country,
But
different
we
language.
did it.
If we can do it, then
Exactly.
we can fucking do it.
That's yeah. If
Right.
we can do it, and how come you cannot do it?
Like the experience, I would never take it back. You know, I would never.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
and that's the only thing. If someone asks you like, "Oh, I don't like you. Can you give me back all your experience?" For example, Japanese government telling you like, "Oh, I don't like you anymore. Give me your 2 years life experience in Japan." Of course, no.
Yeah.
So that much your experience is strong, and then that's actually your one of best asset you have, right? Then that's the only thing you can share with everybody. Yeah, you can share money,
Yes.
but life experience as John, it's only he has, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, everyone listening, pretty much the point of these set of podcasts about Ryusuke and about me, I think the underlying lesson or point that we want to say is to travel,
exactly.
to live abroad. Yes, our
Doesn't have to be Japan.
exactly. Our podcast is based about Japan, but we're not saying Japan.
No,
Could be anywhere, right?
anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Yeah. Just explore your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Any culture that you're interested in. Like I wasn't even interested in Japanese culture, right?
Same here. I didn't know about Canada.
Right?
Yeah.
But now you will adapt. The first probably like few weeks, month,
It's
fucking hard.
Yeah.
Super hard,
Yeah.
right? Back then, super lonely too, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
now
yeah.
with technology, I think if I did it now, like,
Maybe you don't even feel lonely.
yeah, if I miss home, I'll just FaceTime,
Exactly.
right?
So easy.
So
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I don't know anything, Google Maps, Google Translate.
Yeah. Everything is easier than 2005. So why don't you do it?
Right.
Especially the listener, young people, don't think, just do, just plan and then go.
Exactly.
And then our age or even older, you guys still have time to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Oh yeah. Like I don't think I'm done traveling.
Yeah.
You know.
Right? Yeah. Me neither. I still want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it like that you don't have any possessions though. Like for example, I never want to buy anything like my apartment right now. Our apartment, it's not furnished super nicely just because I know.
Exactly. Same here.
Right. I'm gonna eventually leave again. So
once I said, all right, I might gonna stay here like 10, 20 years, then I'll think about different way.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All like my wife and I's all our stuff, we can like pack it into a suitcase or two and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And not care about any of the possessions we have, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's a different way of thinking and living.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. At the end, we're just sharing with you guys about how we think with all our experience.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. All right. So I guess it was a long episode, but it's very important. And then for sure, I was asking him mostly about Japan because I thought you guys want to know, obviously. But John's life is way more than this 1 hour. So if you guys want to ask something more specific about John, anytime message us, email us, or I don't know. You can,
Yeah, let us know.
yeah.
These podcasts about us will be split into 2 parts anyway, because
Yeah.
a full hour listening about us is probably too much.
That's
But
true.
yeah, we'll probably have other episodes down the line, more specifically about us.
Yep.
So thanks for listening.
Thank you.
About me.
Yeah.
This brings us to our segment, Street Level Japanese.
はい。
Today's word, hora,
ほら。
has two meanings. It could mean like look, see, or I told you so. So we have two examples, one for each. I mean, it's so hora, you hear it all the time. It's so common, but it was kind of hard for us to think of specific examples for you guys. So for the first one, for look, see. So I tell Ryusuke, J-Lo and Ben Affleck are back together. He doesn't believe me. So I Google it. I find the article, or I found the news story that it's, yes, indeed true. I show him. I would say,
ほら、見て。
see? See? They are back together. Hora mite.
ほら、見て。
I tell my kid to stop running inside the house, right? He can get hurt. But they keep doing it, and they did fall and hurt themselves. You would tell your kid,
ほら、言ったじゃん。
Hora ita jan. I told you so. So, hora.
ほら。
Very useful.
It's very useful.
So, hora, look or see, and I told you so. So, thank you for listening to
Thank you so much.
part 2
of interview this time for John.
We will go back to regular Japanese topics after
this. But hopefully you guys enjoy, and then because of like some of listeners actually ask us, like they want to know about us. So if you don't know about us and then you listen whole this episode, thank you so much.
Yeah, if you didn't give a fuck about us, but you still wasted your time and listen to us, we really appreciate it. I mean, it's still kind of about Japan, right?
It is. So especially like about like John's this interview, for sure there's a lot of information about Japan
that we could add as well.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
はい、またね。
バイバイ。
バイバイ。